We live, boys?
All right, sorry about that, guys. Pro Lights just took off. We had some technical difficulties here with the program. I've got Sean Butterman up here with me, helping out with the broadcast. And we got Traven Wiley out front and Charlie Buffum right in tow. Sean, what do you think, man?
Thanks for having me up here, Kenny. Yeah, Traven is usually your guys' announcer, but I'm up here taking his place this time because he's racing this race. He actually got the whole shot over Buffum. I think in the heat race, Buffy cut over on him yesterday, and I don't think that really sat well with Traven. He wanted to make sure he was going to get a start today, so both Traven and Buffy are guys you don't really want to get fired up, and they're fired up right now, so we're going to have a battle on our hands. I think Samp, he can have something for him if he sticks with him, Kenny.
Yeah, and this is a hometown track for Traven. He's got probably 1 million laps around this, and Charlie is the defending champ from last year, so this is going to be a great race.
Oh, for sure. I hopped in on the practice with Traven and was like, let me see some of them local lines, boy. I was on the 450, he's on the 250, so we weren't kind of scared to show each other's lines, and I think we both found some pace, so I don't know if I might have hurt my boy Buffum and Simpy letting Traven follow me around, but it definitely helped me for the next race.
Yeah, that's great, man. That's what practice is for.
Yeah, and then we got Clayton Moyer and Rick Ingstrom behind these top three guys. Clayton, this is his rookie premiere in the pro class. And Rick's like a OG guy. He runs Cascadia Supermoto. He's been a pro for a bunch of years and stuff. So we got all these little battles around the track too.
And again, for you guys watching, Traven is on the red bike, the gas and the blue jersey, and Charlie Buffum is behind him on the black bike with
you can see him with the neon. Yep. Ryan Samp's on a 24 YZ 250F that's actually his brother's. He's usually running a 324 number. Right now he's rocking his brother's number because his bike is not very good shape right now.
Yeah, it did look like yesterday he was struggling with the bike setup a little bit, but that's going to be a borrowed bike, but he's doing good.
Yeah, no slipper clutch, no suspension, just out there working it. Man, the way Buffy enters the dirt section is just so fun to watch. I can't believe he's able to just drift the bike like that. Oh boy, we got a pass for the lead.
Side by side coming into turn 3 in the dirt.
Oh, Traven went off the track because of it a little bit. Cost him a little bit of time there. Woo. Yeah, Buffy's not scared to throw it in there.
Yeah, Buffy's got a really unique style, and it is a lot of fun to watch him in the dirt.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's so aggressive on a bike, you'd almost wouldn't think it would work in the dirt for Supermoto, but he's got such good brake control and stuff that he can just be a wild child and pull it off somehow. I feel like if I do that, I'll end up on my head, dude.
Yeah, he really muscles the bike around a lot. Now that Charlie got around, we'll see if he can open it up and get away from Traven.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see. I do think Charlie has pace in the dirt, but Traven, with all his local knowledge, I think maybe he'll be able to rally some of that back on the asphalt and stuff, but we'll see. I don't know how much he's been riding. I know he's coming back from I think a collarbone injury, so I'm not sure how fit Traven is right now. Buffy, you can almost never doubt his fitness. He'll run both classes all day long, be torn up, can't walk at the end of the day, but he's going to make sure he completes every moto.
Yeah, he does it with a smile on his face.
Look at that handoff. What is that doing? Flat track? Come on.
Here's Sampy coming in third. No man's land here. That's always a tough position to be in.
For sure. Yeah, I kind of told him to remember this is the first moto of 2 motos, so if it's not going well for him, then he needs to kind of save his energy, make sure he can come back prepared and ready to fight for the moto that really counts toward the overall.
Yeah, absolutely. Starts are really important. So it's good not to wear yourself out too much here in Moto 1.
For sure.
If you're going to be stuck in third, I'll just take it, save energy for the next round.
Yeah. And I mean, they're spreading out a little bit, but man, I'm interested to see what lap times are.
And they are back on the asphalt now. How's that first left-hand turn coming back onto the dirt, Butters?
Oh, that thing is slick. It's really fun, but you got just a tiny quick second to let the bike settle, and then you can turn in, but it's a bit of a drift. I'm trying to get that nice tight exit where you don't drift over that next pavement seam, you know? That's kind of key to getting that next entry and stuff. And
Yeah, and what Butters was just mentioning was there's different colors of tarmac out here, and they each have their own level of grip, if you will.
this is a very tricky circuit and stuff. There's spots where there's bumps that you can barely see, but you can feel them. So it's like just little things where it's like you need to be 8 inches out here, or you need to apex a little differently in certain spots to make sure that you hit that smooth line, you can get the power to the ground, you can keep your momentum going. So we got Charlie doing 135s and Traven in the 136 in this last lap. So he pulled out just a little bit on him, but not quite half a second, which is pretty good. Yesterday, the track was shaping up to where once it dried out, we were kind of 136s. So right now, he's pushing a real good pace as it's starting to dry out. He's definitely laying it down. Kenny, you've had a lot of time racing Traven over the years. What are some of his strengths on this circuit, you think?
Oh, man, Traven's like a machine, honestly, especially here. This is his hometown track. Him and the People's Champ, Monty Frank, used to return laps here every week. And, I mean, they'd go through a set of tires in no time out here. And he's really good out here. He has been off the bike for a little while, so he's probably a little rusty. But by the end of the day today, he's ought to have all the hot lines dialed back in. And that's a brand new bike he's on. He just put that bike together about a week ago, too. So he's still getting used to that.
Yep. Yeah, no, I mean, in practice, I hopped in with him on my 450. He was on that 250, and I couldn't really break him. So he was definitely moving. Simp and Sam pretty much quietly third. Rick's still kind of hanging in there, though. It's the most laps I've seen Rick do all weekend. I heard Clayton was he got into it with Rick a little bit yesterday in the heat race, Kenny.
That was a good race to watch. It lasted the whole time pretty much. Those guys must have been exhausted by the time they finished back.
Yeah, at one point Rick made contact with him, and Clayton felt like he heard Rick yell, "I'm going to take you out." I'm not sure Rick's that type of guy, but they did make contact at one point.
Most of these guys are different guys behind the helmet.
Oh yeah, no, being a racer is a weird
nice
gift.
Off the track and just animals on the bike. I mean, Charlie's just putting a clinic on right now. This is nice.
Yeah.
Traven's not far behind, so if Charlie makes a bobble or something, it'd be right back in the fight.
And I feel like Buffy's kind of adopting a more, I don't know, I want to almost call it European style, where he's starting to focus a lot more on his body being more forward on the bike and kind of keeping a central movement on the pavement.
Yeah,
you still see his old style peak out, but
feet on the pegs. You know, it's strange. He doesn't have a whole lot of flat track experience, but he rides a lot like a flat tracker in the dirt. Elbows low.
Mm-hmm. Well, he runs his Renthals rolled back like he's Carmichael or something. I don't know if you guys remember Carmichael back in the day on those Hondas. He got the bars folded down on his lap. I don't know how he rides like that, but he goes good.
He's got it figured out for sure.
Oh man, they're shortly here. They're gonna be coming up to lap Steve Ingram. So that was last year's SMEC 250 champ.
Yeah, and Steve does a lot of the dirt work. He helps a whole lot off the track too. So he's likely pretty tired. We've been working him pretty hard this weekend.
Oh yeah, no, he killed it with the dirt this weekend for sure.
There's Traven in the scene right there in the camera. No, that's Charlie in the camera. He's got about 2 turns on Traven right now at the moment.
Yep. I wonder if old Traven's kind of keeping himself good for the second moto now at this point.
I mean, that would be smart. I mean, if you just can't quite catch Charlie, there's no reason to kill yourself trying to do it.
Yeah.
Go ahead and just get that second place, and then hope for better in the next round.
For sure. I think Rick seems to have dropped back. Simply pulled out double the gap he had on this last lap. If Rick can hold it together, we're just past halfway now, and we might have Clayton Moyer up on him by the time we get to the end of this moto now. On that RMZ 250, you know, most people don't agree with me. That's number one 250 right there. RMZ 250, number one bike, number one. Kenny, did you ever meet Supermoto Granny?
Did I meet who?
Supermoto Granny.
Yeah, I actually have never met Supermoto Granny.
Just Facebook friends.
Facebook friends.
So we got Jacob Randall out there. He's on Supermoto Granny's bike. She got injured.
Again, she missed last year too, and we've seen several of her bikes down here last year that she sponsored.
Perfect. So the last lap, we have Charlie at a 135.9 and Traven 6.5. And their best laps, Charlie did a 134.4, which is ripping. And Traven's best is a 136 flat. So Charlie's definitely got a little bit of pace on these boys.
Making you a little worried for the 450 class?
I'm definitely worried about both of them, for sure. Because, I mean, everyone that knows me knows I'm not the best starter. So Charlie's a real good starter. It's going to be hard to get in front of him on this track. So my only hope is I can learn some stuff off him come the Open Pro class and see if I can maybe figure out a spot to make a move, and then hopefully we can drag it out to have a good battle on our hands.
Yeah, it's always great for us to watch. It's stressful in the moment, though, when you're on the bike.
Oh, yeah, for sure. But Traven's a good example here. We got him running second. He's running super strong. He hasn't been on a supermoto bike in probably 4 or 5 years until I think he did a track day to kind of get ready for this thing. It just goes to show that supermoto is that sport that you can be from any facet of motorcycling. Like Traven rides a good amount of motocross when he's not injuring himself. I think he actually did on a mountain bike this last one, huh? I think he did, but yeah. It just goes to show, like, I always tell people, you don't need to practice supermoto. My buddy Johnny, he doesn't agree with me on that, but maybe it would help. There's little fine-tuned things that definitely help to practice supermoto, but I think people are just too afraid to come out here and have a good time sometimes.
We got 3 laps to go here, and you're watching Charlie Buffum about to hit the dirt section now. He's just got such good style coming into the dirt. He's the only guy drifting into that turn, drifting off the asphalt into the dirt like that, and it looks super sketchy, but that dude's been nailing it every lap the entire weekend.
I'll vote that it is super sketchy. There's that bump, how it forms kind of exiting the asphalt. I'm trying to square up and get over it clean. Charlie goes right over it, slaps bike sideways. I don't know how he's holding on to her.
Yeah. You see some of these guys will try to make the turn before you get into the dirt where you have more traction and try to come straight in on the dirt. And Charlie, if you watch him, he will just drift straight off the asphalt into the dirt. Here comes Charlie back on the asphalt now.
Nice, beautiful, mild little drift.
Here's Traven. Wiley coming back on the asphalt. That left-hander right there can be so slick.
Oh, yeah. And that one can catch you off guard pretty easy. There we got the Suzuki Stronghold Clay Moyer going in the dirt. I feel like Rick's picked it back up. He doesn't want Clayton catching him. And I'm just noticing a lot of front end chatter out of Simpy's bike when I look out the window, check out him.
Beautiful slide into turn 1. Now watch this whenever he pitches it back into the dirt. Well, that wasn't as good display as earlier, but either way.
Dude, the turn 1 here is so fun. It's like the perfect slide corner.
That's great. Yeah, these guys are reaching on these 250s about 75, close to 80 miles an hour sometimes come down this main straight before they shift down about 4 gears into turn 1. It's pretty impressive to watch.
Kenny, what would you say is like the sketchiest part of this asphalt track?
I'd say that left-hander coming back on the asphalt is always sketch, and then the right-hander directly after, you're still trying to scrub some of that dirt off.
It has that bump on the inside.
Yeah, and then just after this whole corkscrew, where they first come into the corkscrew here in the right-hander,
I call that the never-ending right.
It's hard not to get chatter right where you see Traven. You'll see Traven in just a second come around here. And the hardest part for myself is the left-hander kink that Charlie just come out of. I always have the hardest time in there. But it's a slower part of the track, so it's not super sketchy. It's just more difficult.
Traven just told Stevie to hop on, tow him around for a lap. White flag coming out this lap around. Dude, I love the feeling of floating into turn 1.
Oh, that's great.
I can get those good no slide, or a slide with no rear brake, just transmission. Beautiful. Feels so good.
And they're on the last lap now. Looks like Charlie's going to wrap this one up.
And pretty safe. Traven kept him honest that first lap, or those first few laps before Charlie was able to get around him. And he used that inside in that first dirt corner, which I think when I was out there in practice this morning lining up, I think if you hit the outside berm and you hit it good, it can be faster. But the problem is if you're racing close, it opens the door.
Yep, leave the door open. And Charlie's been hitting that inside line. He's got it mastered.
Oh, he's got it
looks
good.
like compared to anybody else. He's hitting it the fastest.
My only worry about that is as the dirt section dries out, it leaves the opportunity to slide out and like lose your front end on it and stuff. And that, I think, where I'm hesitant on it. Where it's definitely one of those things where you can keep it in your back pocket for a move, but it's not something I necessarily want to risk every lap, I feel like.
100%. Charlie's coming around on the last couple turns here. We might see a little victory wheelie coming around.
Oh, yeah. Buff can throw it up for us. We won't see no wheelies out of Simpy now.
Yeah, there's a wheelie right there. Good job, Charlie.
Good old stand-up.
We got Traven coming around in second place.
Also doing a nice wheelie
Also
for
doing
us.
a nice wheelie. And then Ryan Samp.
Yeah, let's see if Simpy will give us a wheelie. No dice. No dice.
Well, thanks for coming up here, Sean. Good luck today.
All right, thanks, Kenny. I'll be back up here for the second moto of the lights class. So.
We're going to take a little break until the next round comes up.